Hello, beautiful people. I'm back and I am so ashamed. I'm so sorry. I've been out of touch for the last few years. It's been crazy. And I've toured a lot and then I've released a few albums, more singles. And you can check that out, on social media or on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever. But in any case, I'm so glad to be back in touch with you guys. And today, I would like to talk about tuning with you, how to tune the Dan Tranh. But first, before we drill into that, let's look at the structure of the Dan Tranh. So first, you have to know that this thing here is called the peg. That's where you wind up the strings, the other end of the string, and you can tune it by turning it either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Then we have the bridge, the movable bridge. It can move from left to right. Of course, you have the string, and then you have this part, which is called the fixed bridge. There you go. So these are the main parts that we're going to work on when we tune a string. The important thing to know about how a string sounds is because of the length or because of the size of the string. The thicker, the bigger it is, and the longer it is, the lower the sound. The shorter and the smaller the string is, the higher the sound. And that applies for every single instrument, not only Dan Tranh, for the piano too, for the violin too, everything. And when I'm talking about the length of the string, it's not the length of the whole string. It's between the bridge, the movable bridge, and the fixed bridge. This is the length of the string. There's another element for a string to sound. It's the tension, how you stretch it. So the more you stretch a string, the higher it is. The more you loosen the string, the lower the sound. For the position of the bridges, as you can see, the bridges are placed this way on the Dan Tranh, which means that the first bridge is approximately about from 9 to 10 inches from the peg. The last bridge would be approximately about 3 to 4 inches from the fixed bridge. Why? Why is the distance so short? And I tell that to my students all the time. Is that if this bridge is too far from the fixed bridge, it means that the length of the string is going to be longer, which means that the sound is going to be lower. So if you're going to raise that sound to a certain level, to a certain frequency, you have to stretch it even more, and it could break, it could snap. So that's why I always tell my students not more than 2 or 3 inches from the fixed bridge. So between the two bridges, how do you place the other bridges? Usually the first bridge, like I said, would be about 9 to 10 inches from the peg. And then we just place them not equally. The lower the notes are, the wider the distance between the bridges. And then as you move upwards, the bridges will be closer to each other. But one important thing, the two bridges should not be touching or too close to each other while you're playing, and if a string gets out of tune, because it's quite fragile, especially when the temperature changes. You can move the bridges, the movable bridges, you can move it to retune them. If, for example, a note is too low, you see how it changes? That's too high. And that's good. So how do we tune that? We need a key for the peg, and that's where you turn the peg. To raise the sound of the string, you have to turn it anti-clockwise, this way. And if you turn it clockwise, you lower the sound. Listen to this, it's a G. If I turn it, anti-clockwise, and if you want, it to be more precise, let's say that it's a tiny bit low, too low or too high, and you don't want to use the peg. That's for very precise tuning. Then you move the bridge from the left or to the right. When you move it to the right, the sound is higher, the note is higher. When you move it to the left, the note is lower. So how do we tune it, and what is the scale? As I said, the Vietnamese scale is not like the Western scale. In the Western scale, you have 7 notes: Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si, or with the Anglo-Saxon notation, it's E, B, C, G, E, F, G, and then A again. We have only 5 notes, which means that the first note is Ha, So, Sang, Se, Gum, which are G, A, C, D, E, and then G again. Or it could be G, B, C, D, E, etc. But I'm gonna talk about that on the next episode. This G is what we call in the Western world a G3. It is here on the piano. That's the one. How do you find that? Well, if you are already a musician, well, that's easy for you. Just find the G3. If you're not a musician yet, what you can do is to download an application. There are tons of that on, Google Shop, Google Play. Just type tuning application, or if you have a good ear, you can download an application for the piano. You have the notes on the piano, just play on the note, and then you find that note on the Dan Tranh. So this is a G3, G3, A3, C4, D4, E4, G4, and then A4, C5, etc. This is a G3, G4, G5, and this is a G6. So between the same notes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strings. The 6th string is gonna be the same note again, but an octave higher. There we go. There are other scales. I do not want to confuse you. And so we're gonna do that on my next video. Other scales and the schools that go with it. This scale is the most commonly used, but I like to use another scale, which is G, B. That's different. Okay, next time I'm gonna talk about, other than tuning, how you can use another note that are not on the Dan Tranh, because we only have G, right? A, C, D, E. If I want to play an F, for example, an F. We don't have an F here. There's a technique for that. I'm gonna talk about that next time. Please leave a comment if you have any questions. I will be out of town, and I'm leaving Paris in 2 weeks' time. I hope I will have time to make more videos before I leave for the countryside, because I'm gonna get some rest and work on my next compositions. I will not be teaching during the summer, but I will resume my lessons with those who are studying with me in September. If you need any information, there is a link to Linktree where you can get all the information on my website, my websites and my social media links. In any case, I promise I will not take 5 years, 4 years. I don't remember. It was so many years ago when I did my first episode, but second episode is coming and third episode is coming. I promise you guys, cross my heart, that this time I will keep my word and I will try to do more and more videos. We will be in touch. Thank you so much for all your support all these years. And I love you guys, and thank you. Bye.